Nothing in Twilight is easy.
Twilight was first published as a book in 2005, and almost everyone was crazy about the new book. A girl in love with a vampire, what's not to love? The book led to 3 more books and 5 movie adaptations. Once fans saw Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson on their screens, they fell in love even more with the movie, and everyone just wouldn't stop talking about the Twilight series. But for critical fans, there are certain scenes in the movie that truly don't make sense even now. Before we go ahead, like this video and subscribe to our channel. You're in for an exciting ride. As with all the books that eventually become films or television series, fans have so much to say about what was done wrong and what the actors did really right. This is common with classics like the Harry Potter series and more. Another thing that makes fans go into a bout of serious thoughts and analysis about a series is when the series draws to an end. Being a movie fans enjoy so much, it's only natural that they'd want it to end on a good note and watch their favorite characters have a happy ending. So while Twilight can be said to have a clever ending, there were still many confusing moments in the movie, and even though the final movie came out in 2012, fans are still wondering in 2021 what exactly happened. Here are some parts fans are still confused about. Number 14. By all logic, Bella shouldn't have been able to bring forth a baby. This is one of the biggest plot points at the end. Bella gets pregnant. Naturally, watching a couple start a new family should be a joyful and cheerful time for all involved, fans included, but not for Twilight fans. Most were super confused about the new development. 17 magazine had pointed out that Bella getting pregnant was in fact a plot hole, and had said in the book, when a human is turned into a vampire, all their body fluids turn into venom. Since venom is poisonous to humans, we're assuming it wouldn't be able to work in its place to create a human life. Even now, 10 years after the final filming, this part still doesn't make sense to fans, and there has been no answer or rational solution to the plot holes so far. Number 13. Why would Bella really choose to have a baby so young? Bella was a young teenager, and it was going to be a tough pregnancy, so why was she so determined to have the baby? This contributes to one of the major criticisms of the Twilight series. Bella and Edward seem to have a quite problematic relationship. He watched her sleep and watched her do everything else, denying her of her independence to, breathe maybe. She was a growing teenager, and she didn't need a vampire breathing down her neck every second. She didn't even seem to have her own goals or have an independent mind. It seemed that all she wanted was to have Edward's baby, and if you're familiar with real life, you know the opposite is what we see in reality. So why was Bella different? Number 12. Bella was too cool about becoming a vampire. For some fans, while they knew it was quite inevitable for Bella to eventually become a vampire, she still seemed way too okay with changing her whole life. How did she not have fears, worries? Simply put, how did she not freak out? If it was you probably would have screamed your eyes out and kicked and scratched. But Bella was calm as a feather. She was okay with having to drink blood and becoming an entirely different being. This part didn't exactly add up. Number 11. Edward did not stop Bella from transitioning. Yes, Edward helped Bella become a vampire because everyone was worried that she'd have died otherwise. But some fans believe that Edward should have absolutely refused to help Bella's transition. She was going to be giving up her entire human life, throwing away her ability to be with her family and friends, and all her dreams and aspirations. It seemed like too much for her to have let go of. Of course, loyal fans are aware of the blinding love that existed between the couple, but it still seemed like a decision that she was going to regret. Number 10. Bella left her family quickly. At the beginning of the movie, when Bella moves to Forks to live with her dad, he seemed like such a sweet person, but immediately after she meets Edward, she seems to forget all about her own family and is all too focused on being part of Edward's family. It was almost as if she had forgotten about all the people in her own life. Wouldn't she miss them? Wouldn't she wish she could see them one more time? Why did she badly want to be a part of Edward's family? She had gotten so obsessed with him right from the start, and this became even more apparent at the end of the saga. She and Edward got married, and she seemed too excited to become a Cullen. It was out with the old and in with the new for Bella. Number 9. Bella had a baby in a way that was too weird to make any sense. This is one part fans will never forget. Edward helped Bella have her baby in a unique and all too gross way. According to W Magazine, Robert Pattinson himself had said, "It's nuts. I had to give her a cesarean by chewing through a placenta. I don't know how it works, but there was definitely chewing through something. No, it's wild. Once you get it in your head, you're like, oh, this is just the thing." The point here is even the actor really had no idea why he had to chew through a placenta. That just tops off the crazy list. If she was pregnant and she could give birth, what was wrong with doing it the old-fashioned way? Why did it have to get so weird? Number 8. What happened with the love triangle between Jacob, Bella, and Edward? This was a love triangle, not the Bermuda Triangle, so why did it magically disappear? Many young adult series have these love triangles that make the movie interesting and suspenseful. Who will she go for eventually? This is the question that makes fans glued to their screens most of the time. And while the love triangle was present at the beginning of the movie at first, it seemed to suddenly disappear. Fans had chosen their teams, Team Edward for the vampire and Team Jacob for the werewolf. But towards the end of Breaking Dawn, there was no more triangle. Bella married Edward and Jacob was gone, without a real resolution. Number 7. Bella and Edward had normal names, but their baby wasn't so fortunate. Renesmee, pronounce it if you can. Does it roll off your tongue? What about Bella or Edward? Yeah, so where did the strange baby's name come from? Of course, one might say Bella and Edward wasn't your average couple, so it it was only normal that they gave their baby a strange name. But even this doesn't explain the strange name. The Cullens have basic names like Alice and Edward, which doesn't give you a throbbing headache while trying to pronounce them. So their baby's name coming out like that out of the blue, with no background or explanation, is a riddle fans are yet to solve. Number 6. Edward doesn't sparkle in the sun like he should have. This is another crazy moment that fans have yet to wrap their heads around. There was one scene where Edward literally sparkled in the sun, and one with that it would always be like this for vampires. But in Breaking Dawn, this doesn't happen. Someone had rightly said on Reddit, Breaking Dawn Part 1, why was there literally no sparkling? Like, I get it, I think it's weird too, but they were on the beach in the sun. Edward should have been sparkling. And well, we agree, this part is confusing because it shows inconsistencies with the plot and character description. Number 5. Bella was too chill for a newborn vampire. It is a known fact that throughout the Twilight series that newborn vampires are anything but chill. They're hard to control, they're savage, they're bloodthirsty and unpleasant. But Bella is anything but these. She was able to control herself around people and did not try to jump on any unsuspecting human. This part was also inconsistent, and it confused a lot of fans, especially because it's one thing to believe the rules of a magical universe, and it's another thing when those rules don't add up. It was mostly disappointing and confusing for fans to watch these inconsistencies unravel throughout the movie. Number 4. Bella loves being a vampire and doesn't tell anyone about it. When you get a new car, a new scarf, a new wife, a new job, or anything new, no matter how lonely your life might be, there's always someone you want to tell about the development. Even if it's your black cat or the stray dog down the alley, you still have someone to talk to about it. But Bella doesn't tell anyone about the new life change. She doesn't tell her father that she's dead, and she seems to love being a vampire too much. Number 3. There are too many confusing rules in the vampire world. One confusing rule is the fact that female vampires can never get pregnant, yet Bella does. This doesn't make sense, but it happens in Twilight. Fans will be left to wonder how the vampire world actually works, as Twilight fails at providing a palpable explanation. Number 2. There was no real fight scene. Entertainment Weekly had said that although the final moments of Breaking Dawn Part 2 are pretty dramatic, it is all too surprising that they never really happened. At first, we thought there was an epic fight between the Cullens and the Volturi, and later we realized that this didn't happen as Alice had only pictured it. So many fans think this is a huge mistake, as the fight scene would have made more sense if it was real. Another problem with the fight scene is that Alice could not have imagined it because they were werewolves. Number 1. The happily ever after ending was unrealistic. Of course, this is what normal fans of normal series would love to hear, but not fans of Twilight. The producers left so many questions unanswered and tied it all with a neat, cheesy bow saying they lived happily ever after. But we all know this is impossible, especially in the world of vampires. There you have it. What did you think of these parts that left fans confused? Leave a comment and hit the like button. You can also subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our next video.